Hello and welcome to another midday recipe here on the Vegan Chef School page. Welcome to my kitchen. So this is my home kitchen where I am teaching free classes every day at midday. Today we are doing something very interesting. We're going to be using some food waste. So it's something that we would normally throw away, but I'm going to show you a really great way to not only reuse it, but also make it really tasty. So the deal is that you guys can ask me questions, but I need to get up the Facebook Live onto my computer here. So let me just check that we are live and that I'm not the wrong way around or upside down or back to front, preferably. So please do ask me questions as we go through the recipe today. I'll be able to see all of your questions there. I'll do my best to answer them as much as possible. Gloria and Daniel, thank you for joining me already, quick off the mark. So yes, as I was saying, that you guys can ask me as many questions as you want to ask me. Sometimes they can get a bit lost in the feed. I can only see about 3 at a time. So if it's a burning question, then please do ask it again. If it's something that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with today's recipe, I will look back over the questions and I will do my best to catch up with them. And as always, there is a rainbow somewhere here today. It's middling to easy one today, if that's the thing. It's not easy and it's not hard, basically. Okay, so on to today's recipe. So we are making banana skin bacon. The bananas that I use are organic. Bananas are one of those fruits that are pesticided quite a lot. Don't know if that's a word either. Could be. Sounds right. Pesticided. Oh, Paul says, hello from India. Where in India? I do have a real love of South India in particular. And Karen joined us again. Thank you for coming back. It's really lovely when you guys come back again and we get to know you a little bit. And also thanks for joining the community hub. So we've created a group and you guys can join the group, and we've got just over 1,000 people in there now, and you can share your pictures of whatever you guys are making. You can share your recipes, your tips, and you can also share the pictures of the recipes of ours that you make, because you are going to make them, right? Okay, so let's get on to today's recipe. So in here I have some banana skins, and these were from yesterday's recipe using chia seeds. And whilst I was making that recipe, I realised it would be a really good opportunity not to waste these guys and actually to use them for a recipe. I've just got another couple of comments. Oh, Karen said hello. And Harry said hello from Scotland, another very beautiful place. So we are going to just use the skin from one banana today to make one portion. Now we've got a hello from Australia. Hello from Australia. Thank you, Fee, for joining us. Okay, so when we're using banana skins in a recipe like that, it's important that we get this bit off as much as possible. So this kind of soft, quite lemon yellow stuff on the inside, which is, very similar to the actual flesh of the banana that you eat. So we want to get rid of that as much as possible. Oh, and we've got a hello from Cork. Pascal, thank you for joining us. And Michael, good morning. Good morning. So we'll get that lemon yellow inside soft bit off as much as possible. And so I need a fork for that. And you can be quite firm with the banana when you do this. I want to make sure that you guys can see this properly. Yep. So I'm just making sure that I've got a real hold on the fork and a real hold on the end of the banana. Let's just see if we've got a few more hellos. Yeah, and Tony from Newcastle, hello. Sue, hello Dave, super excited about today's recipe. Me too. So I've got a really firm hold on the banana, and then I'm really pressing down quite hard. Banana skins are pretty tough, so you can be quite firm with it and it won't break. So you can see all of that stuff coming off it. We're going to get rid of that, and that's what we want. So at this point, we can take the end off if we want to. You can either use some scissors for that or just a knife. Patricia says, hello from Orla and Patricia. Ah, Orla. That's a lovely name, isn't it? So who is Orla? Is Orla... Could be a cat, could be your daughter, I don't know, who's Orla. Ian, thank you for joining us again. Natalia, hello from London. Oh, I do miss London. So our school is actually in London, and I would go up there every day and every week and teach. So I miss it greatly. So we'll just get the lemon yellow stuff, that kind of flesh, off the skin. And then we're left with these skins, and that's what we want. So that lemon yellow stuff, if we left it on, basically the bacon would still taste of banana. We don't want that. We want the bacon to taste bacon, funnily enough. So just getting the last bit off of that. Again, I can see there's a little bit more in there. Okay. And I'll just trim the end off there. In fact, what I'm going to do is just tear this so we've got a few nice slices there. And just get rid of that stuff. We don't need that. Okay, now we're going to marinate it. So I've got a nice big bowl here. Orla is 9 years old and vegan. I knew it would be something like that. Okay, hello Orla, thank you for joining us. Can you spot the rainbow today? Let's see if Orla can get it. Virginia said, morning, made the carrot soup and it was delicious. Good. It's always really lovely when you guys tell me that you've made these recipes. So that was a carrot soup that we made the other day. Lots of spices, loads of healthy nutrients and vitamins and lots of kind of like immune boosting properties to that soup. So that was why we shared that one. So onto the marinade. I'm using some tamari here. So you can use soy sauce if you're not gluten-free. I'm gluten-free, so I have to use the tamari, which doesn't have any wheat in it. So half a tablespoon of that into our bowl here, and then 1 tablespoon of water. So the measuring spoon that I'm using is a half tablespoon today, so pop 2 of those in there. Now we need to add a tiny little bit of syrup, and the one that I'm going to use today is an agave. You can use maple syrup if you want, it's just that I don't have that at the moment, but this will do a really good job in its stead. Tim said hopefully won't mess this up after the meringue debacle. Oh dear, we don't want meringue debacles. We don't want any debacles. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of syrup into here. You'll see that I actually just reused this half tablespoon, and that's because I know that, so there are 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon, so I can work that out. So I know that this is half a tablespoon, so 1 teaspoon is going to be about 2/3 of this. So it's when you can like do things like that, it means that there's less washing up, which is always a good thing. Ingrid, thank you for joining us today. And Tali, hello from Austria. So we're going to add a pinch of smoked paprika into here. Give it a quick mix and then pop our banana skins in there. This is a really ridiculously easy recipe. Once you get the hang of it, you'll be able to do it without a recipe, I'm sure you can. So we'll just leave that in there for a moment while we put our pan on and get it nice and hot. So we do need it on quite a high temperature with this, and it is going to it might get a bit smoky. It might get a bit smoky because tamari, it can burn quite easily. But in a way, we want that kind of like charredness, that smokiness, you know, that savoury taste in our bacon. That is what is going to taste like. But I do have a little jug of water here on the side. So if things do get a bit too sticky in here, then this will help me deglaze the pan. I've also got this trusty implement here, which is, you know, it's wooden and also it's got this nice straight edge. So at some point I know through experience that the pan might get quite sticky and I might want to just scoop out some of the marinade that will really start caramelizing. So I've got this to one side and I just put that on a high heat. Would you recommend liquid smoke at all? So yes, absolutely, you can use liquid smoke in this. That's also something you can pop in. Also something like smoked salt, you can use that too. In fact, I don't know if I've got some liquid smoke here. I think we might be out actually at the moment. So you can use the smoked paprika, you can use smoked salt, and also I'm going to show you how to use a smoker in a moment once this is cooked. No, it's not something that everyone can get hold of, but it's a really, really fun piece of kitchen equipment, and I know that Ingrid really wants one. So if Ingrid's husband Grant is watching, it's just a suggestion for not necessarily like a Christmas present, but just like a now present. You know, why not? Why not, Grant? So just putting that in your head. Alice, have you tried adding a bit of liquid smoke? Okay, yes, exactly. So you can just add a little bit of liquid smoke to this for the smokiness. But as I said, you know, this is going to get nice and charred, so you're going to get smokiness from that anyway. But I'm going to show you our smoker in a moment. Mark, thank you for joining us. Okay, so this is getting warm, and we can test it out by just putting a bit of... There we go. So I know it's nice and hot now because I just put a little drop of the marinade onto the pan. Okay, so now we just want to take our slices and pop them in the pan. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of oil. So just a word on the pan that I'm using today. The pan that I'm using is a green pan. So it's a non-stick pan, but it's a non-toxic non-stick pan. So a lot of them can contain toxins, and as soon as you get a scratch on the surface, then it's leaching chemicals into your food, whereas with green pan that isn't the case. And there's a lot more of these pans on the market now. These were ones that I managed to find on sale, would you believe? They were half price, which was amazing because they are quite expensive. So this is a non-stick pan, but it's also a new non-stick pan, so we're going to fare fairly well with cooking these in this pan today. If you've got a pan that's a bit more kind of like beaten about, you know, it's got a few more years on it, then, you know, it can be like a little bit more tricky, and you might need to just, you know, keep an eye on it a bit more. So I'm popping them in the pan, getting them nice and flat, because really what we're doing here is we're searing. So we really want that hot heat on the banana skins. So this marinade that we've got here, we're actually going to use this still. So we're going to pop it into the pan as this is cooking, and that's going to cling more to the banana skins, because at the moment not much of the marinade is clinging to it. A little bit, but not as much as we want. We really want to put as much flavour in there as possible. So we just need to remember, let this cook. Don't keep messing around with it, you know, let it do its thing. You can lift up a skin and just see how it's doing. Make sure that it's got a bit of oil in there as well. And, you know, I use oil very, very carefully, very, you know, I'm very restricted with the amount of oil that I use. I use it little bit by little bit, as and when I need to. I don't like to drown things in oil. See how these are doing. They're browning up really nicely, but what I really want to do now is add some more of the marinade. There we go. And that's really going to start becoming more of a glaze. Because remember, you know, we've got the syrup in there, that's going to caramelise. We've got the tamari in there, that caramelizes as well. And I can already see that parts of that pan are really starting to get a bit caramelly. So basically, we're really treading this fine line between caramel and smokiness and burnt. Essentially, that's what it is. Virginia says, I am addicted to the bee-free sweet potato wraps. Love if I could make wraps that roll. I really like them too. I've used them quite often. They're really nice, and their sweet potato bread is also really great. They recently changed that recipe, so you know their other breads, you know, not so good, but the sweet potato one is really good. I don't know why they sell the other one still, because it's not as good. And then we've got Frederick. You should use an iron pan. Yeah. You can use an iron pan, definitely, if that's what you choose to use. And I'm just popping little bits of water just to deglaze that, because I just want it to cook out a bit more. I don't want it to get too sticky. But it's on a really high heat still. We've got it on a 4, so I've got 6 settings. There we go. So you can see the colour is really changing. Like even on the side where it was very yellow, it's now much darker. But the side that looks really lovely is the inside side. If that makes sense. You know, so it's the edge. It's the side that we scraped all of that lemon yellow stuff off, that flesh off. That's the side that really starts looking like a golden, like a really deep golden brown colour. So Virginia says hot or cold water. It's just water from the tap, so just cold water. Natalia says no fire alarm yet. Do you know why? This is why. I preempted it today, so I just need to remember to actually put that back in. Okay, so we're getting to a really good stage here with this. It's really coated and really soaked in to the banana skin. There we go. But it's quite soft at the moment. So I'm just going to add a little bit of oil, but before I do that, I'm just going to push these to the side, use this very handy implement and just get that caramel off there. See, that's what I want to take off. So pop that to one side, a little bit of oil, and we'll get these guys frying. So if you don't want to add more oil to your dish, you can just pop these in the oven as well. I've done that before and that works very well. You just want to be careful to crisp it up but not cook it too much, because we don't want that tamari to burn. And as I said, you know, this recipe is a really tricky balance between getting, you know, the tamari to get all caramelly and burning it. So Johnny, thank you for joining us. It looks amazing already. Also, the battery spends more time out my smoke alarm than in these days. Oh, yes, that is the case, isn't it? If you've got an errant one like ours. So our smoke alarm always seems to go off when we're making toast, and like pretty much no other time. So we've called it the toast alarm rather than the smoke alarm. So this is crisping up really well. Oh, and Fair Greg. That's an interesting name. Why are you called Fair Greg? And Louise joined. Louise, thank you for joining me. Okay, so this is getting nice and crispy, and I can see that the bacon is starting to bubble a bit. The skin's starting to bubble, so it's almost ready I can see just like some little raised bits on there. That means that it's almost done. So I'm going to pop it into a clean tea towel just to get some of that oil off, because you know we need the oil just to get it to a really high temperature, because that's going to help crisp it, but I don't want the oil to then go into my mouth. So we'll just dab it, and I always have, you know, old like tea towels and napkins and stuff like that in my kitchen that I can use for things like this, that, you know, dabbing oil rather than using kitchen roll or you know, that type of thing. So here we have it, our bacon. So at the moment, whilst it's still a little bit warm, it yeah, see, this is still a little bit warm and it's a little bit bendy still, and then once it's cooled down completely, oh my gosh, that's really good. Salty, you know, it is quite salty because we've got the tamari in there, you know, so that's the thing that is imparting that salty flavour. We've got some trusty ketchup here as well. So it's really, really lovely to have actually in a sandwich, you know, like a BLT, that type of thing, so you've got the crispiness of it. And if you do want to warm it up just before you have it, then just pop it into a warm oven just for a couple of minutes, and then you'll get it warm again. So these are some lovely bits that I made earlier. And they've got like a slight stickiness to them as well, which is really, really nice. Oh my god, it's addictive. It's really addictive. So, just said, great choice of recipe. Thank you. And Louis said, I didn't know you could eat banana skin. Yeah, you can. You can. So there are other things that you can make banana skins into. You can make it into a type of like pulled pork, that type of thing. Next bit of our recipe. So this is an option. So you can have the banana skin as they are. As I said, you know, that is like quite a salty bacon. So if you don't want it as salty, then just reduce the amount of tamari that you're using there. You do need a little bit for that flavour. But, you know, that's completely up to you, so you can change it. Okay, so now I'm just going to put my bacon into this jar. When you're using a smoker, you don't necessarily have to use a jar with a flip top lid. It's just that when you're doing it on your own, it makes life a lot easier, because we want to trap all of the smoke in there. So yeah, you could just use like a bowl with a plate on it, or, you know, something like that. Just something that's going to be airtight and all of the smoke is going to be able to stay in there. So this is our, oh, Virginia said if people want less salt, Bragg's liquid and aminos might be an option instead of tamari. That's a really great tip, thank you. So this is my lovely smoker. So it has 2 settings on here. What else to say about it? So this is where we put our little chips. I'll do that now. So it comes with these, but you can actually buy these separately as well. So once you run out of the ones that are in the pack, you can just buy them on their own. So we pop them into the top here. And make sure we've got a lighter. And we want to make sure that you guys can see this, because it is really quite fun to do. And so we need to pop the hose into our jar. Can you see that well? Yeah, you can see that. And then we're going to turn it on at the end here. And I'm going to light the chips. And once they've caught, you'll be able to see smoke going into the jar. I think there's a bit of a breeze coming from the window today, so it's not catching so well. There we go. I can see it has caught. Okay, it's not catching, I'm afraid. So I'll give that another go without burning my thumb. Okay, I think it's starting to come through now. Whoop. Okay. Okay, so there we go. I'll just turn that off. And now we've got some smoke in there, then we can just clip it and put it to one side, and the smokiness will impart that flavour on the bacon that is in here. So once we're ready to use it, we can just take it out of there and use it. But the smokedness really does go in there quite quickly. So you don't really have to wait very long at all. You know, you can just give it like 5 minutes if that, really, and then the smokedness will be going into there. So that's a really, really lovely technique. As I said, you know, it is like quite a nice gadget for people who are vegan foodies out there. I think this one cost me about like £50, something like that. It's made by Sage. I have used a cheaper one before, but I wouldn't recommend it. I think it was about 20 quid. And I used it once and then it broke. So, you know, there you go. You get what you pay for. Johnny said, do you have a link to buy a smoker like this? It looks amazing. Well, I will post a link for you guys after this, and then you can see. Let's just see if we can get this to produce a bit more smoke. Might just be that the filter's a bit blocked, because I know that we can get more smoke into this if we really, really try. Let's give it a go. Let's make sure that... There we go, that's better. Whoop, way! Ha! Now we're cooking. Much better. There we go. Okay, so that's really going to give us a lot of smoked flavour in here. I've also done this with a few other things, like tomatoes are amazing. So if you skin tomatoes and then you just put the flesh into here, then it can really taste like a smoked salmon, and it looks like a smoked salmon. So there we go. Paul said it looks a little tricky. Well, I think that I might have had the hose, there might have been a kink in the hose or something like that. Usually it's fine. Yeah, but you know, the best things happen on live TV, right? Sophie said, were the banana skins you put in the ones you'd already cooked in the pan? Yes, they were. So the ones that I cooked in the pan, I put in here. So you cook them first, you know, do all of that jazz, and then smoke them. Johnny said, glad the battery is out of the smoke alarm now. Yes, exactly. Me too. Otherwise it would be quite a noisy show today. And Dennis said, that is more like what I was expecting in terms of the amount of smoke and seeing it. Yes, we finally got there. So please do let me know if you've got any questions. If there is anything that you would like me to do a recipe of. I'm just going to dip into here and get all of these lovely things out. Yeah, so do let me know if there's any recipes. Oh my god. See, that's like next level in the smoker. That's really, really good. Rachel said, can you do the smoked salmon tomato recipe before lockdown is over? I will see what we can do. Definitely. I'm gonna finish eating this. You guys, thank you for joining me today. I really, really hope that you're finding what we're doing really useful. On Monday, we will have one of our graduates, Arpita, doing an Indian recipe. So she's actually from South India. So she is an expert at that type of food. So we're going to pass over to her and she can give us the benefit of her wisdom. So join us for Monday for that show. I believe that she'll be making a dosa, which is very, very exciting because dosa is absolutely amazing. Same time, midday, always midday, we will be here for you. So Virginia said, how do you reheat it or do you eat cold? So you can eat it cold if you want. You can just pop it back into an oven. So you can pop it into an oven for, a couple of minutes or something like that, just to kind of like heat up. You don't want it to be cooking any more than that, really. So, if you want it warm, then you can do it that way. One word about this recipe is that, with a lot of bacon recipes, I think that they all have something good about them. So, we've asked you guys today, what you've made bacon out of. And there are all these different types, with aubergine and king oyster mushroom, rice paper and tempeh, and now with banana skins as well. But they all have something really, really lovely about them, but they're not necessarily like the complete package. So what I really like to do is to combine them. So I have made bacon sandwiches before with the banana skins, which add the crunch, but then with aubergine bacon, so it's really lovely to combine those things and just like play around with it a bit, because I don't think one vegan bacon does it all, basically. Michael says, this looks great, need to give this a try. Good. Let us know if you do, and also please post a picture. Patricia says, thank you. South Indian is going to be awesome. Can't wait. I can't wait either. Love South Indian food. Ian Cole said, would dehydrating give a similar result? I don't think it would, because you really need that heat to crisp it up, and to get the skin to kind of bubble. That's what we're looking for. And also to get the tamari to get to the point of almost being burnt, to be really, really caramelly. That's what imparts that really, really deep, salty, savoury flavour. Thank you, Day. Great recipe. The rainbow is underneath my chopping board. Yes, it is. It is. Diana, you found the hummus rainbow today. There we go. So that's a really, really good note to leave it on. Thank you for joining me and have a lovely day.